Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make orange and pineapple muffins, and this is what they look like. As you can see, these are made in miniature and they're full of pineapple and orange and pecans. And what's really cool is as soon as they come out of the oven, we're going to brush them with an orange glaze, and then if you want, you can decorate them with a little bit of coconut. So the first thing that we need to do is to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. And then this recipe makes about 36 miniature muffins. If you're like me and you only have one pan, 24 pan, then you can just bake those, and then when they're done, you can bake the rest. So you will need to either butter or spray your pan with a nonstick spray. Now if you spray your pan, a lot of times, at least when I do it, you end up getting the top surface of your pan with a little bit of that spray. So what I do is just take a cloth and then just brush that off. Because if you don't, when it goes in the oven, that spray kind of bakes on there and makes it kind of sticky, which you don't want. So for this, it's kind of like a cake batter. It's not like just mix everything together. It's like a cake batter. So if you have an electric stand mixer like I have, use your paddle attachment, or you could use a hand mixer for this. So the first thing you will need is a half a cup, 113 grams of butter. Have your butter at room temperature. And then I'm just going to beat that just, maybe 30 seconds, just until it's smooth. Good. And then you will need 3/4 of a cup, which is 150 grams of granulated white sugar. And now I'm going to beat this on medium-high speed. We want to get some air in there, mix it together and get some air incorporated. So maybe 2-3 minutes. That looks good. So you can see it's all mixed together, and a little bit of air in there makes a more lighter tasting, textured muffin. So now what we want to add is 1 large egg, and have your egg at room temperature. It mixes in much better when it's at room temperature. If you want to go by weight, that's 1 large egg is about 52 grams. And then for flavoring, I'm actually using an orange extract, a pure orange extract, so I'm adding 1 teaspoon. It's 4 grams. Boy, if you ever used orange extract, you really get that smell of orange. And I like to add a little bit of vanilla extract. I always think vanilla goes good. So a half a teaspoon, just 2 grams of vanilla extract. And I'm just going to beat that in. And as always, scrape down the bottom and the sides of your bowl as much as you need to make sure everything gets mixed together. And then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup, which is 165 grams. You can either use sour cream, which I am using here, or you could use like a yogurt, a plain yogurt. We could probably even use a flavored yogurt if you'd like. For this, and I'm just going to beat that in. Simple enough. And now for our dry ingredients. In a separate bowl, I have 2 cups, which is 260 grams of all-purpose flour. You may know that as a plain flour. And then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon, 3 grams of baking soda. We need baking soda because we do have sour cream in the batter, which is acidic, as well as the pineapple. And then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon, 2 grams of baking powder. And then just 1/4 teaspoon, 1 gram of salt. And I'm just going to whisk that together. And then, of course, we need we have the orange extract, but we're going to add a little more orange. We're going to use the zest, orange zest of one, like I suppose small orange. And I'm just using one of these hand graters. You can use a box grater. And when you're grating, of course, always wash your orange very well. And then when you're grating, you only want to get the orange part, not underneath, because that's a little bitter. And this is where, most of the flavor of your orange or lemons, it's in the skin, so that's why we're using that. And, you can use whatever type of orange you can buy wherever you live. So many different choices, depending on the time of year. Okay. Okay. And I'm just going to break that up. Really smell orange again in here. Okay, so I'm going to add this to our batter. And then I'm going to mix it in. Start on low speed. You don't want that flour coming up in your face. And I'm just going to mix it just until it's incorporated. Don't overdo it. Okay, it's almost mixed in, but we have a few more ingredients to add, so I'm going to add them now. So what you need is 1 8-ounce can, which is 227 grams of crushed pineapple, and you want to drain that, which I have done, as you can see here. So I'm going to add that. It's kind of a real tropical type of muffin. Whoop. And then you will need a 1/2 cup, 50 grams of chopped pecans. If you don't have pecans, you could use walnuts, you could use hazelnuts, really, or almonds, whatever you like, or whatever you have. And when I chop, I do it by hand. What I do is use a fairly large knife, and I put the heel of my hand on the end here, and then just go like this, and that kind of is a pivot point, and go around, and that's how I chop my nuts. Of course, if you have a hand chopper, one of those little machines, you could use that. And I'm just going to put that in, and I'm going to just mix until it's all together. Okay. Oh, wonderful batter. You could serve these, you could have them for breakfast. You could serve them, if you have a fruit salad, they go nice for a dessert. Packing lunches. Okay, so now let's clean this up a bit. Quick stir. So now we want to fill our muffin tins. If you have these little ice cream scoops, they are the perfect thing, because that way you get the same amount of batter in each one, and then they bake all at the same time. And this one, I think, is a little more than a tablespoon. What you're looking for is to almost fill your muffin cups. And of course, your muffin cups, little ones can come in different shapes. So, like so. Okay, that's the last one. So now, baking time. As always, everyone's oven is a little different. I find for these somewhere between 13 and 16 minutes. You don't want to overbake them. And they're done when you put a toothpick into the center, and it just comes out clean. Okay, so our orange and pineapple muffins are done. As you can see, if you touch them, they're firm, and a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. You can see they don't have a lot of color. this particular muffin. So now what we're going to do is make our glaze. So I'm just going to do this in a small saucepan on the stove. You could do it in the microwave. You will need 1/3 cup, 80 milliliters of orange juice. And I just squeezed the orange that I had used in the recipe for that. And then taste your orange juice, because the amount of sugar you want to add will depend on how tart that orange juice is. So I would say somewhere between 1/3 to 1/2 cup, which is 65 grams to 100 grams, somewhere in there. I'm actually adding probably closer to 1/2 cup because my orange juice is a little on the tart side. And then I'm just going to heat this up just until the sugar melts. It becomes warm. Okay, so there we have it. You know, when I was making these yesterday, I was thinking, if you were making these, and only for adults, I think a little bit of Grand Marnier would be very good in there. So you might want to try that. So now with a pastry brush, I'm just going to brush the tops of our muffins. And then what I like to do, because you know, just to dress them up a little, is I put a little bit of coconut. You can use sweetened. I'm actually using unsweetened here. You can use shredded, flaked. Or if you don't want, you know, some people don't like coconut, I think you could use some chopped nuts on there, like more pecans. Or you could just leave them plain, whatever you like. So this is what you do. You just go along and that, and there we have it. Now these are good the day they're made. You can cover and store them for quite a few days. You could freeze them. Now these are a little hot, so I'm going to try one that I made yesterday. When you brush the top with a glaze, the good part about that, not only does it add flavor, but it seeps down into the muffin and keeps it nice and moist. So, you know, it gives it even more orange flavor. So you have the orange, you have the pineapple, and you have the little bit of crunch from the nuts. You know, it's a really nice tasting muffin. So try them. And until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.